This is not new footage, this is old footage, but I expect that this flicker strike is gonna look something like this. And flicker strike's a lot of fun, right? Flicker strike's a hell of a lot of fun. It's very powerful, especially on single target, but on mobs too. And so this is an old flicker strike setup of mine, back when you still had the totem. My internet could barely handle that one. Alright, so this here is a theoretical 405 million DPS flicker strike setup using the Wildspeaker for the new Legacy of Phrecia event. This build is not for people like Jayhawk12 with small peepees. This is for the big boys. And you can see here we got 100% spell suppression, we got 62% chaos, over 75 cold, 75 fire lightning, massive speed modifier. Armor gives us 58% phys reduction. Not the best defensively, only 3,000 life, but massive DPS in theory. Now, you're never going to quite achieve this much, realistically, but I just want to show what the setup is and let you kind of reference the path of building. I do these just as references. You're not going to achieve the max, not even on the Hollow Palm one that I posted recently. You're just going to use it as a guide, as a template. You can modify it to your own liking that way, and then you can go in and see, hey, what can I cut that's expensive, right? So as you can see, Impossible Escape to allow a round here, and then Elegant Hubris to change these nodes into crit multiplier. Lots of lightning res. Damage per endurance, not as helpful. Still a little bit of a boost. This only uses 3 endurance charges, though this has 13 frenzy charges, so you want double 10% damage per frenzy charge. So you know, this build would use a 73,680 coin Elegant Hubris. Basically the path is as it is. Down here, what are we doing? Martial Prowess, Calamitous to give us a little more shock. This is based on my Lightning Flicker Strike that I developed in the past, which was a Duelist. That one, of course, is a Slayer. And then Feed the Fury to give us, you know, a little bit of Life Leech. And then here we get our crit up, Basics of Pain, Precise Retaliation. And now we have Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame, in theory, which would allow us to have Avatar of the Wilds. The only way on POB to like allocate this right off. This doesn't do anything, so it's okay to touch this. But as you can see, theoretically, if we have Avatar of the Wilds, we get this 80% more LE damage while unbound. So while we're unbound, we get this massive jump from 227,000 to 405,000, which is just super helpful. Otherwise here, if it's regular mobs, we're going to take Elemental Mastery Exposure, minus 18%, taking that off, see, that's 5 million DPS right there. Now, otherwise we're going to take this here, it's going to cut on mobs slightly, it's going to go 5 million less if we take, not that one, sorry. It's the, yeah, 25%, cuts it down to 382 on mobs, but helps a lot on bossing, so Uber Pinnacle Boss, 312, if we take the other one, 279. So, you know, if you're on regular mobs, it's better to have 18% exposure, and if you're on Shaper, you want 25% chance to treat LE res values as inverted, and that's because we don't use Elemental Weakness or Conductivity. In fact, we don't even take, look, no Whispers of Doom. We only do one curse, and it's a mark, because we use Frantic to get our 13 frenzy charges. Otherwise, what is this here? This is a Light of Meaning, 6% increased lightning damage. Life Mastery for a little bit more life, and of course we're connected to the Ranger starting point. And monsters cannot block your attacks, Iron Reflexes, and a Watcher's Eye, this crazy Watcher's Eye, which you'll never get, right? Life with Vitality and Damage Penetrates is what you really want. But I went ahead and put, hey, theoretically, if you can get it, increased crit chance gets your crit chance to 99.61, right? Paradoxica, all hits do double damage. Now, I put on here Trigger Spectral Wolf, not that it has that, but it's the only way to like sheet it in POB, the effect of the wolves. And right here, we have 10 wolves. Paradoxica, as you can see, penetrates LE res, double damage. Great weapon for Flicker Strike. We use a shield with synthesized Frenzy Charge implicit. We actually do put Aspect of the Cat so that we can socket this with right here. It's here somewhere. So there's the Aspect of the Cat we get from our Ascendancy, but we want to be able to socket wherever it is. Right here. Less duration. So we want less duration You're not going to get this plugged in, which means you're not going to be able to cycle and refresh your frenzy charges just by having the skill alone. So we do still get the aspect, and we are able to socket the gem that way. So we do want to put that there still. But we don't need the Pharaoh's Fur, which is the key, and that's coming up soon. This uses this crazy, impossible to get Forbidden Shaco. You do want the level 35 added lightning, and then I've done endurance charge on melee stun in the past. When you have a replica Pharaoh's Fur, you're not going to want that anymore. In a perfect world, you'll want close combat. What do we do here, since we have this open body armor slot? Replica Shroud of the Lightless, 6 Abyssal Jewels, flat lightning, crit multiplier, life, and flat lightning with sword attacks times 6. And that's beautiful because you're not getting damage from the weapon. You're having to scale it elsewhere, so just lots of flat lightning, which is why this scaled up to the 400 million you saw at the beginning. 405 million. Crazy gloves, which happen to hit max frenzy. You're not going to get that, but you will be able to get the spike gloves with max frenzy explicit, and then LE damage, and then non-val strike skills. Target 2 additional enemies, and then a little bit of attributes. Dark ray vectors for frenzy charges as well. Amulet, in a perfect world focused amulet with lots more flat to lightning, and then that huge 90% crit multiplier, and then non-channeling skills at minus 14. Beautiful. Circle of Regret with Herald of Thunder, mana efficiency, but also increased lightning damage. And then Frenzy Charge on the implicit. And then the other ring is this really expensive ring with also Frenzy Charges, and then more flat lightning all over the place. You can get the double because it's veiled. That is allowed. And the belt just gives us where we need res, just as much res as you can get. And LE damage with attacks, why not? And then we have a Quicksilver Flask. It's Ziri's Promise. That does give us some damage, see? And then this here gives us increased effect of our shock, which is very helpful. And then Bottled Faith, of course, for massive bonuses to crit. And I believe that's most everything. Assassin's Mark, Mark on Hit with Empower. You could actually get a little more if you take this off and if you self-cast it. No one realistically is going to do that. Ice Golem, Automation, Berserk, and Steel Skin. And then we're just second wind dashing because we can. That's in the body armor. That's not going to fit there. So actually this needs to be moved around a bit, come to think of it. Yeah, we would make this work. This is in the weapon, see? There's the boots. You can get 2 on the boots. Yeah, so we could put dash here. This would still work. You would just have to move them to boots. And then gloves will hold other stuff. Gloves are holding our Herald of Thunder, our Wrath, and our Precision with an Enlighten, level 4. These go into the shield. You can get 3 sockets, so let's put dash here, actually. And I'll fix this when you actually see it. So there will be dash right there. And then we don't need dash over here anymore. And then these 3, yeah, we can get rid of that and just move this to the boots too. There we go. Problem solved. Alright. Perfect. So it's still possible, yes. And then, you know, if it's on here, and then if this is here, there you go. 405 million DPS. Interesting, right? Not realistic, because you're not going to have that all the time, but this also assumes 30 rage, which you're going to, more your berserking have like 20 or less. But, you know, it just looks cool on paper, right?